We're here today to sit down for a chat with Jo Monteleone. Jo is 2 weeks away from opening her own studio, which is inLIFE Wellness in Peakhurst. Jo's been working at inLIFE Wellness in Menai for the last 2 years, and we're going to talk today about what's involved in the process of opening her studio. We're going to touch on the process of being a reformer Pilates instructor and then becoming a reformer Pilates studio owner, and hopefully gain a lot of insights from Jo through this conversation. Enjoy it. So, here we are 2 weeks out from you opening your own studio. Just first up, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling really excited. I thought I'd be more nervous at this point, but I'm so excited, and I feel like it's been a really smooth process, and just everything's really organised, and we're ready to go. We're just starting to take our one-on-one trials this week in the studio, so everything's nice and set up, and I'm just really excited to get everyone in here and get it open.
That's cool. So it's okay if you're nervous or stressed, but not too much, just excitement, the overwhelming emotion.
Yeah.
I think the smoothness of it all has been more of a credit to you. You're very organised, but and we had plenty of time to plan it. You planned it and you just got on top of everything, so nothing was a real rush at the last minute. We're sitting here inside the studio now. We might get some footage of it later, but it's 80-90% ready. We'll put the final touches on it over the next couple of weeks. But taking a few steps back, in the past we've covered your journey from the corporate world, event management, into becoming a Pilates instructor. Becoming a mum along the way.
Yes.
And that's been a few years now. Now you're making the next step to become a studio owner. So what made you want to open your own business?
I've always wanted to open my own business. I wasn't quite sure when I was younger what that was going to be, but I knew it was something that I wanted. I wanted to just have the flexibility and the autonomy to do my own thing, and I like to think I'm a little bit creative as well, so I've always wanted to do it, but I hadn't quite found my passion yet until I found Pilates. Once I started teaching, and I just fell in love with Pilates, but inLIFE Wellness in general, the whole concept and everything and the people, and it's just amazing, and I just knew that it was something I wanted to be involved with pretty much straight away. A lot of that is because of you as well. Like, you just made it so welcoming to come in and teach and learn, and you make everyone feel like it's such a part of a little community, and that's what inLIFE is all about. So I always knew I wanted to do something, and then after I had baby and I kind of came into my own a little bit more with my teaching and left the corporate job that I hated, it just all fell into place. I think it was all the right timing, and I just knew that it was the right decision to make.
That's good. Because you are pretty ambitious. You're in your mid-late 20s, and you just seem you strike me as being quietly driven and determined, and also just confident, but without being a loud or egotistical person. But your response then makes me think a few things. Like, you've come from a pretty pumping studio at Menai with and some of the elements you just touched on relate to the positive culture that we try and create. And just in case anyone's watching, like, I haven't prepped you with these questions, and sometimes that's what happens in interviews. But so, big questions on the spot, like, what does culture mean to you, and how do you think you're going to promote a positive culture within your own studio?
Well, culture just means to me like everyone finding a home and feeling welcome, and just having like their own little place to go. I think you've said this a few times, like having their third place where it's not home, it's not work, and they can come here, feel relaxed, not have to think, and everyone, like the members become friends, like the old members say hi to the new members, and I think that is like a big thing when it comes to the culture of the place. And so, what was the other question?
No, I think you answered both those questions there. But culture is also a really broad topic. I mean, I think there's a culture for punctuality. There's a culture for teamwork and helping each other. There's a culture for wanting to go the extra mile and keep learning. These are all cultural elements, like saying hello and goodbye, and making it a bit fun, but getting the job done. These are all cultural elements. There's also just what I call a bit of an unspoken culture of just resilience and just getting it done.
Yeah.
Never saying you're tired, never complaining, always putting your happy hat on.
Yeah.
And that's it. So, it's not just all warm and fluffy. It can be fun, but it's also, very, I guess, just professional. I just like it to be pretty slick. Hey, another big question, but it won't be beyond you. Like the process of opening a business, can you explain what's been involved so far? And I know there's lots of things.
So from the very beginning.
From the beginning,
Yeah. Okay. Oh, well, I guess we started off just having chats with you and kind of discussing what the process would be and how we're going to go about it, talking about the franchise agreement and how the studio works, and then. I can't remember what was the first step. It's finding.
I was going to say, that's a big one, Then you're just like, okay,
space.
Cool, I'm going to do it. I've got to find a spot.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing, because I think we actually spoke about it with you probably 6 to 12 months before.
Yeah.
And then nothing really eventuated because we couldn't find the right spot.
We looked at it. Terrible one.
We looked at a horrible one.
So glad
just up the road too. But yeah, really in hindsight, glad we didn't go ahead. But yeah, then we saw this place and straight away it just all happened. We were like, yep, that's it. Like we knew that it was the right spot. Called you straight away. We came and had a look. And I think we all just decided, it was time to make the decision and so pretty much put an offer in for the lease and get that started. So that was the first thing. And then this was a restaurant, so we had to go through the DA process of changing that, which we were very lucky with the lease that we had time to do that. Our lease didn't start until the DA was approved, so we didn't have to start paying rent or anything like that. So that was some weight off our shoulders. And then once the DA got approved, we still had 3 months rent free. So that's part of the reason why I guess it hasn't been super stressful as well. Like we made sure we negotiated those things, and definitely you were a big help in that process.
Did you know getting a rent-free period was part of a commercial lease?
I had known of it, but if I didn't have you there, I definitely wouldn't have. Maybe Shane. I think Shane knew because he's been through the process before.
And then what happens after that? I suppose it's all about the ordering of the equipment.
That was the next thing. Yeah, straight away we ordered the reformers and weights because it's a bit of a wait for those. So that we got that underway, and then once the DA went through, which I think it took about 3 months in total. Everything was in the meantime. I just started organising everything. So all the fit out, the carpet, the mirrors, the paint, just all the tradies that were needed to come in. I had them organised. So as soon as we got that approval, they came in. We did a little bit of demo, not much, just a couple of walls. And within 2 weeks, we had this place completely gutted, carpet, mirrors, painted, ready for the reformers to come in. So it was a really quick process. I think part of it was choosing the right spot and just being organised and having the help from you, knowing, okay, this is exactly what we have to do. We had our timeline and just had things ready to go.
But because you are so organised, along the way there was a bit of frustration because people weren't moving as fast as you wanted them to.
I would have liked,
But that's all right. You need to chase those people up. And aside from that, there's some legal elements, some accounting elements, some like IT, audio, visual, and then marketing.
Yes.
So all that. Have you learned much about marketing or?
Yeah, I've learned a lot about the accounting side of things. Speaking with our solicitors and going through that process, just making sure everyone's happy. Marketing definitely. I've learned a lot with the online marketing. It's not something that I've had to do before. Learning about how the analytics work and Facebook and Instagram and reaching out to people and how they're going to see our posts. It's been really interesting, and I've definitely learned a lot. And when we started our marketing 6 weeks before opening, so we've already had trial members coming through, lots of inquiries, and it's just every day I'm getting more and more. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
On that topic of trial members, like when you open a new health club, we do the pre-opening marketing, and historically there's 2 options. Like one is an offer where you say, hey, we're opening a new studio. It's normally $59 a week, but the first 50 people can have it for $39 a week,
Yeah.
and the second 50 people get $49 a week, and then it goes to the full rate. But the problem is, we're a 150 to 200 member studio, and you don't want to open up and have half those people on a discount for the first 12 months. So we don't go with the offer, we go with the trial. Our trial is $29. People get a one-on-one and a week worth of classes. And we're pretty confident with our conversion rate. So I suppose just wanted to, I guess, explain the reason why we go with the trial. The trial is just our ongoing offer. Just really is the best way for people to start. No obligation. We add heaps of value, and we get to build that little relationship and then get them over the line. The process of going. So how does it feel going from being a Pilates instructor to a business owner?
Yeah, it's pretty surreal, to be honest. It's almost like I still don't believe that it's mine. Like I just, and now that I'm actually in here and hearing you say it, it's kind of not overwhelming, a little bit emotional, I guess. Like I put a lot of work into building up to this point in my life, and I'm really excited for it. But it feels really good. I'm really excited to take that next step, and it's good to show, I guess, that Pilates, being a Pilates instructor, there is a career there and you can grow, and there's places for you to go with it.
There's a few things that motivate me in business, and previously I had been a franchise owner, so I get where you are. And I was always motivated to build a business that could make a good income, but also build a business that's worth something. That's an asset that's sellable. Has the process of opening stuck to budget?
No, but only because of the DA process that we had to go through. So basically it would have if we didn't have to change the DA, but because of all the council fees, and we used certifiers to go through that process, it went a little bit over budget, but like if we had found a spot that didn't need that DA, it would have actually been pretty spot on.
Okay, good, interesting to know. And the DA in our line of work, it really is a 50-50. And the first thing we do is contact the council. You had to change the use from a Chinese restaurant to a fitness facility, and change the hours of operation. But the site, the location is worth it.
I think so.
Some of our other locations, we called the council and it was zoned for mixed use, or there was gyms in the complex, or
it was easy.
It was just easy, and they just said you don't need it, and we're like, how good is that? Not only the cost saving, but it's a bit of a time saving. Anyway, I don't want to harp on about that because you had to go do it the hard way. But anyway, it's just good to know that it's sort of stuck to the budget, and we probably don't want to get into too much depth, but a lot of studios are 300 to 600 grand to open, but we come in at just under 100. So I just think you just don't need to spend any more than that. You're going to have a beautiful studio. It's not like you've cut corners. And I always think there's things that the members notice and things they don't notice, or things they don't care about. And they're going to come here and be wowed. And I know that through the way that you provide quality classes, a great team, the culture, the customer service, and the attractiveness of the timetable. I just know that they're going to stay. I feel like I'm asking the same question a few different ways, but over the last few years, like your biggest concern in making the leap to open your own business, what would you say it was, or biggest couple of concerns?
Firstly, probably money, like just saving up for it, and where do you put it, and making a decision of, investing into business or property, or and then just having the confidence in yourself as well. Like I haven't had a business myself before, so where do you start? What do you do? Like it's very overwhelming, just having no idea. Like I know how a studio runs, but I don't know the process. Like a lot of things, the marketing, all the admin and the CRM and all the back end stuff. No idea how that goes when it comes to a studio. So I think I always have the thought I could probably do it on my own, but I don't know if I ever would have, because then having the security of having you there and having that mentorship and that guidance and being a part of inLIFE, which is already being built up, it was almost a no-brainer. I didn't even think twice about it. I knew I wanted to do it before we even spoke about it. I was like, I hope he wants me to do it too.
You're the perfect person. And you've done the right thing. You've taken your time to learn your craft, and you're going to be I feel like this is not for the camera, but you're amazing. Like, we love you. So all good there. I mean, it's not just the person, or it's not just how good you can teach a class. It's the kind of person that you are.
Yeah.
Are you going to uphold the kind of values? We have our set of core values, and we just want people who support that.
Yeah.
I mean, I just touched on the timetable again, but
Mm-hmm.
how do you feel about the range of classes that your studio is going to offer? And you do have a level of autonomy there to pick and choose and do more or less.
Yeah, no, really good. I think we've got the space here without having the 2 rooms to still be able to do pretty much most of the classes. So we've got, we're going to be able to do a lot of the classes, and I think that's really cool. I think it gives people, a lot of excitement to come and try Pilates, but then also know that they're paying for something where they can get a whole range of different classes and different types of exercises where they don't get bored and they can mix it up a little bit. Or we've got our fusion classes, which are awesome because they might just dip their toes in a bit of a weight class that they wouldn't have thought they'd do before or something like that.
And same with Super Saturday. I mean, there's 6 Super Saturdays to choose from, and it's in here it's half-hour reformer, half-hour other stuff, or the other way around. And the other stuff does include the fitball and the ankle weights, and it's streamlined and it's intervals. So it's almost like you've got to, like you say, gently encourage people to try different things or force them into a change where they get the security of their reformer and they get the tries. But I also believe that reformer Pilates is so beautiful and pure, you don't need to muck around with it too much. But one of the great things about our model, and I think I've said this to you before, is we get the people that just want to do reformer Pilates and we get the people who wouldn't come if it was just reformer Pilates and they want both. And that's great. And every week we analyse the timetable and who's coming to what classes. That class wasn't popular, that class was. More of that, less of that. That class is great, but it's in the wrong time. Is there a problem with the instructor, the type of class, or the time of the class? And we just tweak it all. And the good thing about the timetable is it's never carved in stone. You can change it, in any given week to make it work. We even do surveys. Surveys are sometimes like a can of worms with members, and sometimes it's like, too much feedback. Thanks. What's your plan in the first 12 months of having your own studio in terms of working in it?
I want to be a big part of it to start off with. I want to be here a lot, so I'll be teaching a lot of the majority of the classes. But I definitely still want, some of the instructors here just to give the members variety and, just everyone teaches a little bit differently, and it's nice to have different personalities in the studio. So I definitely want a few other instructors as well, but I really just want to be involved and get to know everyone and make sure we're creating a really good atmosphere and culture here as well. So
in year one, that's how you'll build it. You'll build it on that. You build it with text messages and follow up. And, I don't want to talk too much about money, but anyone who's going to invest in a business, it's got to be profitable. And to get 150 members is really realistic. And the kind of member, that we target or attract, they're the kind of person that stays for a while. They want somewhere that can be their place to exercise for a few years. And my brother owns a gym, and he says people don't want to leave your gym. He says they'll only leave if they feel like they're not cared for, or or things start to get slack. But it's why we have such a focus on knowing their names. And so we know the members' names, they know our name, and the best thing is when they know each other's names, because that's when that sense of community develops that you touched on earlier.
I think they actually feel bad to leave because they've created that relationship with them.
I was just thinking about it this morning because I was at one of our other studios and there was a bunch of members talking, and I thought they're staying for each other. It's almost like in a good way. So I asked you earlier what's been involved in the process of opening a studio, and I touched on what you've learned, but just one more time, because it's hard for me to put myself in your head. What have you learned in the last sort of 4 or 5 months?
I've just learned a lot of things. I don't know where to start, to be honest.
There's a lot of boring stuff too, like sitting with the accountant, getting the company structure right.
Like the whole process of just opening a business, and like how to structure things, how to kind of communicate with people in the business world, and you've got to make decisions sometimes, like little things when we didn't the signs, we decided to go with someone else, and just all those kind of wheeling and dealing type of things that I'm not really used to. So yeah, just and the process of getting it open and getting people in here, sales. Like I've never done sales before, so and it's a little part of opening. Well, it's a big part of opening. The way we do it, though, I think it's nice and it's warm, and it's been pretty easy for me to adapt to.